Well, hello friends, welcome back. It is nearly that time for Springtime Surprise, so the event guide is out, all of the course maps, all that fun stuff. So let's take a dive in and see what may be the same, different, all of the good things you need to know ahead of Springtime Surprise this year. Well, let's dive into the Springtime Surprise event guide. First up here, of course, you have the welcome page. All very standard stuff for Run Disney weekends. Just welcoming us to the weekend with Adam Ball, the Vice President of Run Disney, ESPN World Sports, and Disney Water Parks. Also mentions that our celebrated charity of the weekend is Make-A-Wish Central and Northern Florida. So let's dive into the rest of the weekend. We'll go to the weekend events and a full rundown of everything here on the weekend events tab. We'll start with the important information. First up, you'll see a video. This is a rundown of the costume guidelines that you'll find for Run Disney races. These pretty standardized across all Run Disney race weekends, and just kind of some common sense rules, some, don't impersonate a Disney park character, don't, have things dragging on the ground, those kinds of things. Keep it, clean, safe, all those kind of things. It's all about runner safety, and when it comes down to it, if something is going to affect another runner or even harm yourself on the course, probably best not to do it. So then moving down here, we have our flag warning weather warning system here. This is pretty standard across a lot of road races. Green flag means good conditions. Yellow flag means there's some weather, maybe a little warm, maybe a little cold, some wind, some light rain, stuff like that. Red flag means it's a little bit more serious weather-wise, potentially high temperatures, potentially low temperature, extreme low temperatures, some more steady rain, stuff like that. Black flag usually means pretty serious weather conditions, and that's usually where they're going to alter the course, do stuff like that, maybe cancel altogether. Start group times, we'll go into a little bit more in depth in each individual race, but there's a full rundown here of all three races on the same page right here on the important information tab. Resort transportation, again, we'll go through a little bit more in depth for each individual race, but you can get a full rundown of all three races right here as well. Event waivers on your Run Disney account. You should have already signed your event waiver. If you have not, please go and do so. If you are unable to sign your waiver, that's okay. Sometimes that does happen. Whether someone else signed you up or you are not a U.S. resident, there's some different variables in there that it doesn't always allow you to sign your waiver. They will have paper waivers at the Expo that you can go ahead and sign then. And then your Expo check-in pass will be available on April 13th, the week of the events. This gives you your bib number and tells you that you signed your waiver or not, and it will be used to go and pick up your bib then at the Expo. Moving along, we have costume guidelines again, and get kind of more of a written rundown versus the video here. Event reminders, just kind of standard stuff, nothing too crazy here. Place your bib in your front, pinned all four corners, stuff like that. Kind of standard race stuff. Flag guidelines here, this is if you're going to carry a flag. Some people carry the American flag, other country flags, stuff like that. Cannot be larger than 3x5 and cannot have a pole that's longer than 4 feet. And then race etiquette. This is always a big thing. Please, if you are new to Run Disney or new to running in general, take a look through this. This is all about runner safety, making sure that you and other runners on course have a good time. Please, don't run more than 2 abreast. If you're in a group, don't clog up a whole pathway of people are trying to get around. a big thing, especially at Run Disney races. If you are a run walker, move to the right when you're going to slow down. Raise your hand so people know that you are changing speeds, stuff like that. Be vocal. Use say excuse me, I'm coming through, stuff like that. Just try to be nice and courteous on the course. I know a lot of people, every weekend there's complaints about these types of things that could just be, solved if people were a little bit nicer and more courteous on the course. That doesn't always happen though, unfortunately, so just be mindful of that. And we have race day information, kind of basic stuff. Gear check will be available for all 3 races. You'll get a clear plastic bag that your shirts will come in at the Expo. This you can use. You'll write your bib number on the white box on the front of that. Outside of that, they'll also have extra bags on site as well. There will be trucks in the reunion lot. We'll go over that in a second here as well. Food and beverage, there will be food and beverage options pre and post race in the reunion lot. And then lost and found, there will be an on-site lost and found, and then anything at the end will be donated and not necessarily returned to lost and found if you lose an item. There are, if it's not a clothing item though, they do have the lost and found online form that you can check and get your stuff returned, because things do happen. That's all done through online. A third-party site kind of manages that, same as the parks. If you lose something in the parks, you do that same kind of online form, and they'll hopefully get it back to you in a timely fashion. Snack box and nutrition. The 5K will have 1 water stop. 10K will have 3 water stops. And the 10 miler will have 6 hydration stations. And the first stop will be just water. Then the next 5 stops will have water and Powerade. There will be 1 food stop, which will be Honey Stinger Chews on the 10-mile course. And then post-race, you'll get water, Powerade, and a snack box. Exact contents of the snack box are not out just yet, but typically you get like a Honey Stinger waffle inside, the famous plastic cheese, some sort of chip. It's been Fritos, it's been Tostitos, Doritos. There's a few options there. There's also usually fruit snacks or some sort of like Skittles or something. They've done a couple different things in there as well. So just stuff like that. PhotoPass is a big one. I want to say a year or so ago now, they did change PhotoPass a bit, and you now get a code in your check-in pass, and I will show that here in a second. Check-in pass here. So as you can see, this is your check-in pass. Your obviously your bib number here. What kind of race is this? This was for Disneyland, so it says Dumbo Double Dare for the challenge. This means I filled out my waiver. I was coast to coast eligible then, and then your shirt size, and then your PhotoPass claim ID. So what you're going to do is you're going to copy and paste that code into the My Disney Experience app or on the PhotoPass website on a computer. So that's just kind of, it's a unique code to you. You do not have to enter it again for each race. So because this is a challenge, so if you're doing the Springtime Surprise Challenge, you'll get 1 code and you enter that in, and it will automatically populate all your photos for all 3 races. If you're doing, say, the 5K and the 10K, though, which, because that is not a challenge, you will get 2 separate check-in passes and 2 separate codes. So you will have to enter those in that way. And back to the important information tab. Just at the bottom here, minivan, there's going to be an ad for that on all of the pages. Just kind of promoting that you could take a minivan to the race or after the race. Not necessarily something I would recommend, but if you want to go for it, go for it. Coast to coast, people are eligible if you ran Disneyland in January to get a coast to coast medal after the 10 miler. Only 2 races left this year in order to do that. That'd be the 10 miler and then Wine and Dine in the fall. So if you are running those, make sure that your check-in pass says you're eligible and that you get a wristband at the expo. That is where you'll get a coast-to-coast wristband, and you need to keep that on until the end of the 10 miler. And at the end, they'll then present you with your coast-to-coast medal. Advent Health is the medical provider for the weekend. All of the medical, if you need medical attention on course, pre, post race, all that is included, so it's no extra cost to you as a runner. But they will be on site for all 3 events to provide medical attention for anybody that may need that. Back to the weekend events, and we're going to dive into the Health and Fitness Expo. The Health and Fitness Expo, a staple of the Run Disney weekend. This is kind of the kickoff. This will start on Thursday, April 16th from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then day 2 will be Friday, the 17th, from noon to 7 p.m. And day 3, the 18th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. A quick note, if you are a Club Run Disney person like myself, you do get, if you are gold or platinum, you do get early access to the expo on day 1. Now, if you are doing that, you do not get bus transportation to that early access portion. So buses will run, as we can see here in Expo Transportation. Take that in here. They will start 30 minutes before and run 30 minutes after the expo closes. So if you are staying at a Walt Disney World hotel, the Swan and Dolphin resorts, or Shades of Green, those are all the resorts that provide Run Disney sponsored transportation. But if you are Club Run Disney, the buses will not run prior to that 9:30, and your window does open prior to that. I will pull up the Club Run Disney email here to show you. Platinum members, your early shopping access window is from 7:30 to 9 a.m. and gold members 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Parking lot opens if you are driving at 6:30. Also, that will be is when they will let in Uber, Lyft, rideshare services as well. So keep that in mind. You cannot get into the area prior to 6:30. They will turn you away if you are there earlier than that. Also, if you are on hand on the first day, you will need to utilize a virtual queue for the merchandise area. Now, if you are not interested in merchandise, you don't have to worry about this at all. You can just go get your shirts and bib without having to even go into the merchandise building. However, if you are intending on getting a merchandise, you do need to join the virtual queue. There is a full rundown here of how to join the virtual queue. It will be through the My Disney Experience app, which is kind of essential if you are at Walt Disney World for the weekend anyways, but it is all in there. You can join the queue beginning at 8:30 a.m. for the first round, and then at 1 p.m. Eastern for the second round. That first round especially does tend to fill up quickly, so be sure to be on right away at 8:30. You can only join one virtual queue per day, though. So if you join the 8:30, you cannot join the 1, and so forth. The Run Disney merchandise shop will be what pops up in the app under virtual queues. You click on that. You can add your party of up to 6 people total via your family and friends list. So if you have more people coming with you, or you want friends to join you, you can add them there ahead of time. You can do that ahead before 8:30. Make sure that's ready to go, so then when 8:30 comes around, you are good to go and join right away. Moving along, again, event waivers we went over, race, bib, and shirt pickup. This is just telling you that if you are running the 5K or challenge, you need to make sure you get all of your stuff on Thursday. If you're running the 10K, you need to get your stuff on Thursday or Friday. And if you're running the 10 miler, you can get your stuff any of the days the expo is open, but just make sure you get ahead of time. A map of the area here. E is where your parking lot is going to be, and then A is going to be the merchandise building. This is the Advent Health Arena. This is all of merchandise, Brooks shoes, and then the Platinum Club Run Disney kind of lounge will be in here as well. D is the entrance to the area, essentially. Up in B, let's go, actually, I don't know why they label, I mean, I guess the locations are why they label it this way. However, in order to go to B, you need to go to C first. C is where your bib pickup is going to be, as well as runner relations, and they'll have some PhotoPass opportunities and characters in there as well. B is where your shirt pickup is, and then all the major vendors will be in there as well. But like I said, in order to get your shirts, there's a tab on your bib, so you need to go to C before you can get your shirts in B. A little bit more in-depth maps here. This is the Advent Health Arena. This is where your merchandise is going to be. The middle of the floor is going to be all your Run Disney merchandise. They'll have a Club Run Disney section, an annual pass holder merchandise section, a section for pre-purchased items as well. And then one side will have the Brooks shoes. Brooks does have a separate area in here. You can, as you're entering, there will be a try-on section to try on shoes. They will not be the exact shoes. They'll be models of the shoes, just to kind of streamline things. If you don't need to try on, you just bypass that and go right in. And then they'll give you a form as you're entering, and on that form, you'll write down your size, what shoe you want, that kind of stuff. And then once you go up into the Brooks area, you hand the person the form, they bring you your shoe, you pay, and you leave. The Brooks shoes are separate from the rest of the merchandise, so you pay in there. No Disney Vacation Club or annual pass holder discounts apply there. They are a separate kind of entity within that area. Whereas if you're in the official merchandise area, those discounts do apply because that's all Disney branded stuff. State Farm Fieldhouse is where you get your bibs. There'll be a section for each individual race plus the challenge. Then the one side will have PhotoPass and characters. There will also be a section for runner relations, athletes with disabilities, and account services. If you have some Run Disney account issues, there's a spot for that as well. And then the Athletics Center is where your main vendors are. At the back of this building is where your race shirt pickup is going to be. 10 Miler and Challenge will be on one side, 5K and 10K on the other. Along the back wall, there is a shirt exchange, so if you so happen to get the wrong size or, say something, there's some sort of screw up there, you can exchange there. Now, this is subject to what they have available. So say you get larges by mistake and you want mediums. Well, if they don't have any mediums on hand, they may not. You may not be in luck at that shirt exchange. You have to wait until someone gives them mediums in order to then hand those out. So there's that, and then like I said, plenty of vendors throughout that whole area. At the front, there is the Run Disney Showcase. This will have the medals on display, other race weekend medals, other things going on. They're usually handing out stickers, kind of some photo ops there, stuff like that. And that is your Health and Fitness Expo. And back to that events page here. It's time to start diving into the races themselves. 5K is up first on Friday with a 5 a.m. start. That event area will open at 3 a.m. The estimated final finisher is around 7:45, and then event close at 8:30. Start groups. This is A through F for your start groups, so you'll be assigned one of those groups when you get your bib. All of those start groups will open up at 3:45. You do not necessarily have to go in there right away at 3:45, but that is when they do open. And then those groups will start to close at 4:45 and so on. Obviously, once the start line is clear, no more people can come through, and that is it. Everybody should be off by 6:19 a.m. Resort transportation for the 5K. Bus is only. This is going to be the same for all of the races. It's going to be bus only. Some other weekends do utilize the monorail, but this one does not. So you are a bus only for this. They will run 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. to the start line and 6:30 to 8:30 a.m. For the finish. One thing to note, if you do start right away at 5 a.m. and run a fast 5K, you may have to sit there for a little bit and wait for those buses to move, because the course does go along the route where the buses kind of leave from. So they cannot clear until the course is clear. So with people still going until starting at 6:19, essentially, that area is not going to be cleared right away. So say if you finish at 5:30, you may sit there for a little bit in order to get back to your resort. Race etiquette, we talked about. Event reminders and snack box, all kind of the same stuff as before. They just put those tabs on here for the individual races as well. Spectator viewing, I do want to go over. For the 5K, there's only 2 spots because the parks are not open and the majority of this race is inside the park. So you're only going to be able to see your runners if you're spectating at the start and at the finish of this one. Those times and spots are listed here. We can go over that in the map in a second as well. Start staging. The Epcot, this is kind of the broader image here. Parking lots are all going to be open for parking. If you're driving, they'll have parking attendants there directing you where to go. If you're taking a bus, they'll be dropped off in this resort bus drop-off area, which the parks utilize on a daily basis. And then you'll have to walk through security. Even if you're parking too, you have to walk in through here, and you go through the Epcot entrance for general security, and then you take the walk over to the reunion area. When those start groups open, you can go into that start group area, or continue to hang out in the reunion area until you're ready to go into that. A closer up view of that reunion lot area. The reunion lot will have a stage kind of at the back there where it says entertainment. There next to that will be a merch tent and a food and beverage tent. There will also be PhotoPass available, an info tent, a baby care spot. Advent Health will be over there. Your gear check will be over there, and an AWD area as well. And then, of course, only runners are allowed into the start group area, so there will be a bib check before you go into that area. Anybody without a bib is not allowed inside there. There will be some water and some porta potties in that start group area as well, so don't worry if you need to utilize those as well. And then on to the course. The course itself is a pretty standard Run Disney 5K. Not much has changed there in years, really. So as we go into this, the start will be in the Epcot parking lot. As always, you're going to take a right and go around that parking lot and in through backstage of Epcot. You're going to come in between Mission Space and Test Track. You're going to run through between the connections and creations areas there. Before you enter that overhang, there will be a bathroom on the right hand or left hand side there as you enter. This will be your first real bathroom of the course. You're going to go into World Celebration, come up the spine of Epcot there, and make your way towards World Showcase. As you come into World Showcase and go past the Odyssey on your way to Mexico, there will be real bathrooms just before Mexico there at the Odyssey, if you can see. Going past Mexico, you're going to start making your way around World Showcase. As you make your way into Norway, there will be real bathrooms in Norway there. Make your way past China, the African outpost, and then Germany. There will be real bathrooms in Germany as well. Your one and only water stop for this course will be in America. There are real bathrooms in America towards the back here, over there. And then we're going to pass Japan and then into Morocco. Real bathrooms again in Morocco. Make your way past France, over the bridge into the UK. There will be real bathrooms in the UK as well. And then past UK, past Canada, as you make your way back into the front half of Epcot, there will be real bathrooms on your left-hand side as you're making that turn back in. You're going to go past the Imagination Pavilion and the Land Pavilion. As you make your turn back into World Celebration, there will be real bathrooms on your right side there as you make that your way back into World Celebration. You're going to head up towards Spaceship Earth, and on both sides of Spaceship Earth, there will be real bathrooms. And then you're going to make your way out backstage once again, and that'll be the end of your real bathrooms. And you make your way to the finish there. And that is your 5K. Again, PhotoPass, minivan, admin health, all the same stuff as before. That will take us to the 10K. Again, events start at 5 a.m. Area opens at 3 a.m. Estimated final finisher at 8, and event close at 9. Start groups, again, A through F. Start group area is going to open up at 3:45. Those start groups will start to close at 4:45. Everybody off by 6:19 a.m., just like the 5K. Resort transportation to the start, exactly the same, 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. At the end, you'll have until 9 a.m. to get on a bus. And that is that. And again, just bus only for all the resorts. Race etiquette event reminders, all the same. This one, the 10K is timed. The 5K is not. The 10 miler will also be timed. And here you'll have a link when we get there to get your race results. Again, snack box, the same. Start staging is all the same as well. PhotoPass, minivan, admin health, the same. There is a road closures tab, so if you are driving, be mindful of these road closures. Because this is a longer race, they do run on some more roadways. And in order to do that, the roads need to close for runner safety. So just be mindful of those road closures. Then the 10K course. Again, once you are starting in the Epcot parking lot, this time you're going to make a left before looping back around and then making that same way into Epcot backstage. Just a little further out, though, on the roadway. Your first full mile and a half basically will not be in the park. And then you're going to enter in between test track and mission space once again. You're going to make a right when you enter, though, and go towards Guardians of the Galaxy. And then back, kind of make a loop between connections and creations. You're going to pass that real bathroom there that was from the 5K. On your right-hand side, going back behind that creation shop there, and then up through the spine of Epcot. You're going to make your way between the two shops there at the front of World Showcase, and then make your way around World Showcase. You can use that bathroom again in the Odyssey, and you go past Mexico, into Norway, again, real bathrooms. Past China, past the African outpost. Germany will have real bathrooms. Past Italy, water stop in America, real bathrooms again in the back there. Past Japan, real bathrooms in Morocco. Past France, you're going to make your way out of the International Gateway. There will be real bathrooms at the International Gateway on your right-hand side. They're kind of tucked back. Just keep that in mind. Then you're going to run into the Crescent Lake area and around the Epcot resorts. Now, if you are spectating, Run Disney officially only lists the start and finish as spectating spots for the 10K. However, if you are staying at the Epcot resorts, they do allow you to come out and spectate those races. They're a little harder to get to if you're not staying at those resorts, so keep that in mind. But they do also ask you to be quiet because these races take place so early in the morning and people are still sleeping at the resorts, so they are considered quiet zones. But you're going to make your way around those Epcot resorts. Really no real bathrooms right now that there's typically ones by the beach club or beach and yacht club pools, but they're doing some refurbishment work in that area, so those may not be open to utilize anyways. So just keep that in mind. No real bathrooms around those Epcot resorts. And when you head back into Epcot, you're going to go backstage, back behind the World Showplace. There will be a water stop backstage before you re-enter on stage. And when you re-enter, you're going to come in between the UK and Canada there. And there will be the UK bathrooms on your right-hand side as you enter, so those will be there. You're going to go past Canada and then back into the front half of Epcot again. On your left-hand side, as you make that turn into the front half, there will be real bathrooms there as well. You're going to go past and around the Imagination Pavilion, and as you tuck back in that corner there, as you make your way back to backstage, you are going to have real bathrooms on that back side of the Imagination Pavilion. You're going to go backstage behind the Land Pavilion, behind the Seas Pavilion, come back in to the front of the Seas and the Land Pavilions. Go back into World Celebration, and as you make your way back into World Celebration, there'll be real bathrooms right there behind Communicore Hall. You're going to do kind of a loop around World Celebration, go out back by Spaceship Earth towards the front. Do some loops there. Again, real bathrooms on both sides of Spaceship Earth. And then you're going to make your way to the finish, and that is the 10K. And for our final race of the weekend, that takes us to the 10-miler. Start groups, A through F again, all are going to open at 3:45 once again. Start groups are going to start closing at 4:45 until the start line is clear. They're going to have everybody off but by 6:30 a.m. for this one. A little bit longer, larger race. Just keep that in mind. So there's going to be more people at the 10-miler compared to the 5K and 10K. Again, spectator viewing. They do only list the start and finish for this one. However, we'll get into some other spots you may be able to spectate here. Just kind of officially, that's what they list. Resort transportation, once again, 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. for the start. At the finish, though, finish line transportation is going to run 7:30 to 10 a.m. Again, bus only for all three races. Pace groups. There will be Jeff Galloway pacers for the 10-miler. They only do these for the longer races at Run Disney, having pacers. Each group is going to have at least 2. Some groups have 3. However, so if you may not have the exact pace you want in your group, they do list the ratios here. So say, for example, in group 1, they're going to do 5-minute run, 30-second walk for that first pace group, and then so on and so forth. Race etiquette event reminders. Again, results tab will come up later. Snack box. Again, road closures. There's more road closures for this one because we're doing some more where it's a longer race again. So there's more on the roads. Keep that in mind if you are driving, to be mindful of these road closures. Start and staging all the same, and that takes us to the course itself. If you have run this race before, it's pretty similar, few changes, but if you ran Wine and Dine, those changes were kind of started there. So this is basically the same course as Wine and Dine minus the 3 extra road miles that we saw for Wine and Dine. But the park time is all the same as that. You're going to start in that Epcot parking lot. The start is going to be most of the same as the 10K. You're going to start, make that loop back around. But when you head back into Epcot, you're going to go kind of underneath the test track, kind of outdoor portion there, and you make your way into World Showcase behind Mexico. You're going to come into Mexico, make your turn, and go around World Showcase. You're going to have real bathrooms in Norway. A little bit of a closer up view here. In Norway, past China, past the African Adventure, you're going to have, or African Outpost, I should say, you're going to have real bathrooms in Germany. Past Italy, water stop in America, real bathrooms in the back there. Past Japan, real bathrooms in Morocco. You're going to go past France over the bridge. You're going to go past the UK, and as you're making your turn backstage behind the UK, there'll be those real bathrooms over there as well. You're going to go back behind and out towards behind the Skyliner station in International Gateway. As you make that turn out there, you're going to go into the boardwalk area. Again, this is could be a spectating spot. They do encourage a quiet zone here, again because of the time of day. Then you're going to make your way onto what is dubbed International Squeezeway. This is a kind of a narrow path as you make your way towards Hollywood Studios. There will be spectators out in this front area of before you enter Hollywood Studios, kind of the entrance bus area. There are typically spectators out there. There will be real bathrooms at the bus stop area there. You're going to make your way into Hollywood Studios, close up here of that. You're going to go into down Hollywood Boulevard, take a left and go into Echo Lake. So you make your way around Echo Lake. You're going to go into the past Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular, and by Star Tours, you're going to make your way into Galaxy's Edge. There will be real bathrooms in Galaxy's Edge, kind of over by the market area. And then you're going to make your way into Toy Story Land. As you make your way into Toy Story Land, there will be real bathrooms on your right-hand side in Toy Story Land. Going through Toy Story Land, you're going to make a turn and go kind of down this Pixar Place area here. You're going to go kind of backstage then, behind what is the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Kind of cross paths with the course again that you came in through. You're going to go past the Baseline Tap House, Sci-Fi, ABC Commissary in there, past the front of the Chinese Theater and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and up Hollywood Boulevard once again. You're going to take a left and go down Sunset Boulevard. There will be real bathrooms over here on your right-hand side, kind of tucked away. You're going to make your way up towards the Tower of Terror. And once you get to the Tower of Terror, there are going to be real bathrooms kind of up back here in the Phantasmic area as you're making your way out here. They'll be up here. And then there's going to be a water stop backstage, and then you're on the road for the rest of that. So roughly after mile 5.5, you're on the road for the rest of the race until you get to the pretty much very end and back in Epcot for a small portion. So once you're on the road, keep that in mind, no more real bathrooms for quite a while. So that Phantasmic bathroom is going to be your last kind of real bathroom until about mile 9. You're going to do your one overpass here. I shouldn't say one, but you're going to do an overpass here. That's going to take you around mile 6. Up the road here, your food stop is going to be just before mile 7. You're going to do your on-ramp here. This is going to be your uphill. That first one is downhill. This one is going to be uphill. You're going to make your way back towards Epcot to mile 8. One water stop there before you make your hairpin turn to turn back into the Epcot area. There will be spectators out in the Epcot parking lot here before mile 9, and then into the bus stop area here at mile 9. That's a pretty common spectating spot as well. You're going to make your way into Epcot behind the Seas Pavilion. You're going to have real bathrooms as you pass the land behind Communicore Hall there. You're going to kind of do a turn into World Celebration around Communicore Hall, back in front of Spaceship Earth. There's going to be real bathrooms again on both sides of Spaceship Earth, and then you're going to go out to the finish, and that's your 10 miles. So that is your 10-mile course for 2026. And that is all 3 races of Springtime Surprise. There is one more event, however, for Springtime Surprise, and that is the yoga. Princess and Springtime do offer yoga. They have used to do this before the races on Thursday. Now they've since moved it to Mondays after the races. So this is going to take place on April 20th at 5 a.m. at Hollywood Studios. It's a 1-hour yoga experience. You're going to get a yoga mat provided and a bottle of water. The Hollywood Studios parking lot will be open if you are driving beginning at 4 a.m. They do ask that you bring a valid photo ID and your yoga check-in pass in order to check in. Yoga check-in will begin at 4:15, and security will also open at 4. If you are taking a bus, though, there is only one bus pickup for all of the resorts, and those times are all listed in the event guide. So, for example, if you are staying at Disney's All-Star Movies, your bus pickup time is at 3:30. There's only one bus pickup time. So if you miss that 3:30 pickup time, you're out of luck. Again, for example, going to, say, Disney's Wilderness Lodge. Again, bus pickup time at 3:30. If you miss that time, you're out of luck. They do this because there's so few yoga participants. They don't have constantly running buses, and some of these buses share routes. Like you can see here, it says Route 11, Route 4, whatever else. So they're doing one consistent pickup for these spots. And that is it. There's really nothing else here in terms of the weekend events. They do have a tab for upcoming race events, so you can check that out there. Obviously, a tab then too for Make-A-Wish, the weekend sponsor, then all of your other sponsors for the weekend as well. Some of these will offer some discounts if you click into them. Some are just kind of ads, stuff like that. But overall, that is your weekend for Springtime Surprise, your event guide breakdown. Digital Expo is just kind of taking you to those sponsor tabs here. Nothing really different. But yeah, that is it for Springtime Surprise 2026. Obviously, I will be there for all 3 races running the challenge. If you happen to see me, be sure to say hi and all that fun stuff. Excited to get out there for the final race of the 2026 Run Disney season.